At Subway, start your day the flavorful way by adding new guacamole to your favorite breakfast sandwich. Perfectly made with a hint of jalapeno, our guacamole turns up the flavor to your breakfast. Try it today on a hot and toasty egg, white, and cheese. Subway, eat fresh.
The B.S. Report is a free-flowing conversation that occasionally touches on mature subjects. The B.S. Report. The B.S. Report with Bill Simmons.
Welcome to the B.S. Report. Hazy, cold Monday morning here, Southern California. December weather is upon us. December is upon us. 4 weeks left to go in the NFL season. A depressed cousin Sal and an equally depressed Bill Simmons here to talk about Week 13. Who's more depressed, you or me?
Well, both our teams lost, obviously, and I think yours is fresher. Your team's loss is fresher. So let's just talk about that. I mean, no one even remembers if the Cowboys won or lost on Thanksgiving. So we should just go right into the
surprise you. You're gonna be surprised by this. Not depressed at all.
Really?
Didn't really feel like that was a gigantic game. I thought the Pats just needed to come out of it either winning or losing a close game or just with some sort of respectable showing, and that's what they did. I still feel as good about the team as I did a week ago. How about that?
I mean, they really didn't put any pressure on. I mean, you couldn't have liked that one play. If one play stood out, it was had to be when Aaron Rodgers was dancing around the pocket for 35, 40 seconds. And
we don't have Chandler Jones.
Longest incompletion of all time.
No Chandler Jones.
Right. Right, no, I gotcha.
The biggest minute of the game, it's 16-14. The Pats are about to get to halftime down 2, even though they didn't play well. Second down and 10 and then 19. Rodgers rolls out right. He gets Starks on that stupid wheel route that they killed us with the whole game. Ninkovich is on him. He's only like a yard. He's within a yard of him. And Rodgers just made an awesome throw. Get 30 yards. 2 plays later, you get the Jordy, or 3 plays later, the Jordy Nelson play that just McCourty screwed up on. But, I think the teams are pretty even in Lambeau. I stand by. It was funny. All the Packer fans were taunting me about, you were saying the line of no respect. What do you think now? The Packers covered. My whole point was that the line should have been 3 because the teams were dead even. And and Lambeau was worth 3 points, and either team was, could win, and that's what happened. We had the ball on the 20, first down to win the game.
That is what happened. And but actually, you know what? Because producer Dave Jacoby did such a good job digging this up. Can I play back that audio though? Only because I think the fans would enjoy to hear it again.
All right, let's hear it.
You didn't like the line. You didn't like the line, but all right. So here it is, us going over the Pats and Patriots line.
Okay.
All right, my Pats at the Packers. I have the Pats favored by 13 on the road.
All right, I had the Packers favored by 3, and they're actually laying 3.5.
What? 3.5? That's preposterous. I am insulted. I haven't been this insulted since the other day when my waiter asked if I prefer tap water to 750-milliliter bottle of Acqua di Cristallo Tributo at Madaguliani. How dare you undervalue the Emperor Belichick and Jesus Christ superstar Tom Brady? You ought to be ashamed of yourself, Vegas, and you will pay dearly for this mistake. Dearly, I say. I love basketball. Vitor Favorani.
So that was weird. I mean, you could eat a little crow.
I was
there.
Fired up.
Yeah.
Yeah. But by Sunday, I was right. The line was 2.5.
It did go down to 2.5. How about Mike McCarthy?
If anything, I was worried.
Yeah. It was
that
weird.
worried me because now it's like they were showing the Packers not enough respect. The respect thing flipped. Now I was like, the Packers should be insulted. They're only 2.5.
And the ultimate show of disrespect is Mike McCarthy not using any timeouts. I think Aaron Rodgers had to eventually use a timeout before the half. Did you see that? I mean, were you thinking that at the time? Like, he should have been using the timeouts when the Patriots were at the goal line driving. And then just he got lucked out with the Jordy Nelson touchdown, I think, but bailed out completely. But I think it's a good sign for the February rematch. You either kind of want to get blown out there or lose like that. And I'm looking forward to it. I want to see it again.
I was disappointed that Rodgers was 10% better than Brady.
Yeah.
And that's why the Packers won. The reality is Rodgers played better than Brady did. And you cannot ask for a better situation or a play or a matchup than Gronkowski on Dix, the rookie guy. Like, either you get a pass interference or he catches a touchdown if that ball is even remotely, it ended up he had to dive toward the end zone through the guy to catch it and would have caught it if the rookie's helmet hadn't hit the ball.
Mm-hmm.
But that was a lousy pass. And that's why Brady was so mad afterwards. It's like, you can't ask for a better matchup than that. If my Super Bowl is on the line and that's the matchup and that's the key throw of the game, I'll take it every time.
That's what you want.
And he just missed the throw.
Yeah,
but
three consecutive F-bombs by Brady. Not like him. Right after not a good time for the camera to be on him. But
the quotes were interesting in the post game after. I think the Pats. I think they were pretty content with how that game played out. From just all right, we didn't even play that well and we almost won. Like in a weird way, it was like a good sign.
Right.
But it's just frustrating because I didn't even think they played that well and they almost won. So a couple of people emailed me this after I wrote about how the line was disrespectful. They were saying like, come on, Belichick's going to go vanilla in this game. He's not going to want to throw the kitchen sink at the Packers. He's not going to care if they lose once before the playoffs. He doesn't want this team to have a 12-game winning streak going in the playoffs, blah, blah, blah. And it was ridiculous, but at the same time, I'm thinking,
yeah,
I wonder if he is going to go vanilla in this game. I felt like we were very, very vanilla in that game.
You were vanilla, but you have 3 losses. Nothing's locked up yet. You definitely want to play at home against the Broncos if it comes to that. But how about this, Belichick? How about stop being a dick and give Jonas Gray the ball? All right, as a Romo fan, and I hate when coaches put extra pressure on their starting quarterback. And I am hearing that, like, oh, Brady didn't make this throw, he didn't make that throw. Like, it's for no reason. Give Jonas Gray the ball. Just mix it up a little. Go with what works, and there won't be so much pressure on your star every
Blunt
time.
Blunt didn't get the ball enough either.
I think he had 9 or 10 carries, right? The whole team.
The one thing they did in the game that really bothered me was I think they were down 6-0, 4th and 1 from midfield, and they punted.
Yeah,
it's like, come on, we need 30 points to win this game, probably.
Right,
at least 28 to 30 to conceivably win this game. You can't punt there,
right?
And if we can't get a yard against this Packers team, come on.
Yeah,
I didn't like that. I didn't feel like, it certainly wasn't a situation where they were doing the usual Belichick thing where it's like blitzing one series, then everyone goes back the next series. It wasn't like they were messing with Rodgers. I thought Rodgers was terrific.
He was.
But
so poised, so good.
They only scored 3 points in the second half.
Yeah. Well, you got off to a slow start. It was slower than you would have liked. What was it, 13-0 or worse? Was it?
It was 13-0, but partly because they punted at midfield. But I was fine with it. I mean, you look at like how Baltimore lost that San Diego game. That was a catastrophe for them, and that was a terrible loss. And they never should have lost that game. And Harbaugh was way too conservative the whole time.
Right.
And then they just let Phil Rivers just steal it from them at the tail end. But watching that game, I thought the Ravens were going to pull away 4 different times in that game.
Yeah, and Torrey Smith not doing
the Chargers hang.
Torrey Smith didn't play the last drive or last 2 drives, and that hurt. I mean, he is the ultimate all-or-nothing player, Torrey Smith. He can get 0 targets or be open in the end zone 4 times. So I think the Ravens, boy, it's shaping up. It's a crazy stretch for a lot of these 7-5 AFC teams. I don't know. I look at all these these December games, and I don't see anyone winning any games. So I'm giving up on trying to analyze this. But
well, it's in the part that's like the Pats can win wherever, and the Broncos can win wherever. I think obviously I'd rather have the Pats game be at home,
right?
If it's AFC title or whatever. But the reality is those teams can win wherever. I think in the NFC it's more interesting because the Packers are a different team on the road than they are at home. And there's a really good chance that they're going to have to win a game on the road.
Right.
Unless there's a couple of scenarios. So the Packers are 9-3. Arizona's 9-3. Looks like they're finally fading. Philly's 9-3.
Yeah.
Green Bay, I feel like needs the 1 seed even more than Denver and New England does. Is that a fair statement? No,
I think you might be right. And Denver, now I'm switching gears again, but that was a big win against the Chiefs. I mean, that was they showed they could. I mean, I know Brady Sunday night. No one really, if you really think about it afterwards, Manning didn't expect him to lose, but winning in the cold weather against a tough Chiefs team and just running it down their throat, and that's what they did. that was a huge win. And not to say that they can go into Foxborough on a Saturday or a Sunday in a semifinal game to do the same thing, but big win for Manning.
C.J. Anderson's really good.
Definitely.
I was way off this week, which always happens if I have to make my picks on a Tuesday. Mm-hmm. But I was really surprised by a couple games. I could not believe the Chargers beat the Ravens. I thought the Ravens were going to win that game by 20. I thought the Niners were going to show up in that Seattle game, and I thought Seattle was going to be banged up. They weren't.
Right.
I was stunned that KC didn't do better in that Denver game.
Yeah.
I mean, they had 10 days to prepare for that game. I thought that was going to be the all-time kitchen sink game. They couldn't block, and they couldn't stop the run at all. Like their run defense got shredded.
They look so soft. And on the other side of the ball, like people have been saying for the first 10 weeks, like, oh, look, Alex Smith, isn't it adorable? He hasn't thrown a touchdown pass to a wide receiver. It's like, yeah, that's great, except when you're down 10 points in a game. And we saw it on both extremes to the Raiders last Thursday night and then to the much more potent Broncos offense. And it's just tough. Like, I don't believe that these guys are covering the receivers every game. The Raiders corners are covering like the Broncos corners. It just can't be. Like, Alex Smith has to step it up a little. But you're right. They were just so soft. They got run all over, and Justin Houston can only do so much there.
Yeah, it's not good. And, we always have these rabbit teams in the first 10 weeks, and we always say the last 7 weeks are what really matter.
Yeah.
The rabbit teams, KC, I think, was one.
Right.
I think Arizona is a real possibility that they were one, although they're still undefeated at home.
Right.
And they have 2 more games at home, and they're probably going to end up at 11-5, possibly 12-4. Your team might be a rabbit team.
No.
I hate to say it.
I think one thing Thanksgiving showed us is who the wild card it's going to shape up in the NFC. In fact, actually, Seattle could end up winning that division. I think they still have the game at Arizona.
Isn't that amazing?
God, listen, they're 8-1 odds to win the Super Bowl. Maybe we should jump on that because if they steal that division, they're going to be, no higher than 7-2, I think, and it's very reasonable that they do. But I think Seattle and Detroit are your wild card teams. If Seattle doesn't win the division, vice versa, it could be Arizona as the wild card team. I don't think Dallas has enough right now. After that,
I can't decide whether to overreact with those 2 Arizona games or not because they're a different team when Fitz isn't playing.
Yeah.
And that Atlanta game just got away from them. I was surprised Atlanta was able to move the ball on them like that. But Stanton had open guys.
Trap game of the year there. Atlanta plus 2.5 against Arizona from a gambler standpoint. But they're getting injured now. Tyrone Matthew's out, and Ellington with this hip pointer. It is a bad injury. It isn't a bad. Fitzgerald doesn't play sometimes. I don't know. It's Drew Stanton. Some of these guys, overachievers like the Cowboys defense and Drew Stanton, maybe they hit their wall in December. Maybe that's it.
Ellington, who when he's healthy, I think is one of the most exciting backs in the league. He hasn't looked right for 6 weeks.
Yeah,
he just doesn't look right. And meanwhile, Buffalo is 7-5 and kind of lingering.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad I don't have to worry about that. My under 6.5 bet for the Bills wins. Crapped out before December. So
we had some we have some Chargers action all over the place.
Right.
We have them to win the AFC title. We have them. I think their over was 9 or 8.5.
Yes, it was right in there. I don't have it with me, but yeah.
People were accusing me of writing in my column the last 2 weeks that the Chargers were not going to win another game. Like that was one of my reverse jinxes. How come on.
There's nothing to see. What would you see out of the Chargers that you would have liked? They barely beat the Raiders. They barely beat the Rams last week, and then
why would I try to reverse jinx the Chargers into hitting my over when I have a ton of money on them? I would never do something like that. I actually thought they were going to lose the Baltimore game, though.
Yeah,
and they should have lost the Baltimore game.
I thought that was Rivers' best game in a long time.
He was great. It was a classic Phil Rivers game. It was actually the game I thought he was going to play in Miami a few weeks ago when they lost 37-0. He'll have those games where he's just like, we're winning.
Yeah. Swing it out to Brandon Oliver. You got Royal like in the slot, and then Gates is open. That was a tough. The Ravens' pass defense. It's one of the better kept secrets in the NFL. Not a good pass defense, but that was a tough game to win.
The secondary's banged up.
Yeah.
If you had to, at gunpoint, Plaxico Burress is holding a gun at you before he shoots himself in the leg.
Yeah. Who's your
NFC title game?
I think Seattle, Green Bay. And it's in Green Bay. I know. We gave up on Seattle too soon. Their defense is playing so well. I just think they're there. I really do. I think Bobby Wagner plays well, and so does Cam Chancellor, and that's a different team. What do you think?
I don't know if I trust Seattle 100% yet.
No.
Hold on. I'm just looking up who their two. So their defense looked awesome, right?
Right.
Last two games.
19-3 wins the last two games.
Looked awesome against Drew Stanton at home, who didn't have Fitzgerald, and with a banged up Ellington. And then they throttled Kaepernick, who's a freaking head case and who's going to be in the CFL in a year at the rate he's going. I'm really interested to see what they do in Philly this week. I think it's a better test
because then they have Stanton again, and then they have, I think, the Rams in there again, and then they
get
have
Kaepernick, and they get
Kaepernick. Yeah,
they're at Arizona, who's going to be healthier by then, and then they finish with the Rams at home. The Rams are officially frisky.
Yeah, they are.
There's a lot of friskiness with that Rams team.
5-7, the Rams are, right? If I'm not mistaken, and they should have beaten my Cowboys. They should have beaten. Who else did they play? Oh, the Niners. And then the Eagles and the Chargers were games they should have won.
They
could be 7-5 at least.
They're 5-7. They've had 2 legit wins,
right?
5 legit losses, and 5 either-or games.
Yeah.
This is crazy though. Tampa's 2-10, right?
Mm-hmm.
They've only lost 4 legitimate games. They've played 7 either-or games, and I think they've lost all of them except for the Steelers game. They're 1-6 in the either-or games, and yesterday was classic. Like the 12-man on the field. Like Dalton is sick; he's dying to give them the game, and they just won't take it.
They're one of the more fun teams to watch, Tampa Bay. I think before yesterday they were 2 games out of the lead in the NFC South and 1 game away from having the first pick in the draft.
They've had 3 games.
I think they just decided, they're like, hey, we got to make a decision. Just like on Walking Dead, when the group walks too far, they're like, maybe it's better to just turn around because at least we know those zombies the other way.
They've had 3 games this year where they were underdogs and they covered but they didn't win. I was watching this Walking Dead season finale last night. I was trying to figure out. This would be a fun list to do. Everybody should make this list. How many friends in your life would you be like, I'm going back to the hospital and trying to rescue them? And I don't care if there's zombies, there's people with guns. I got to get that friend. I feel like the majority of people in my life would be like, hey, we had a good run.
Right.
Good luck. I'm going to stay here where the zombies and the guns aren't.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Joe House, maybe. Maybe Joe House for both of us. That's it.
Like, Rick's like, we got to get Beth. It's like, you hung out with Beth for like 3 days.
Exactly. Yeah.
What about your son, Carl? Don't you be like, hey, well, it's too bad Beth's in the hospital, but...
I think he just wants to get away from the baby. Notice, like, the son has to stay with the baby every time. Like, we'll be right back. And his son's like, I know you will. He's like, I just got to get away from this crying baby.
It's really the greatest and the most loyal son who's ever existed on the planet, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Like this, he's 14.
Right.
He's like, I'm here with the baby. Yeah, I'm going to play with the baby some more.
Yeah, it's unheard of.
Let me change that baby's diaper again.
It's different in Atlanta, I guess. But I like, that she was on, I don't know if you watched The Talking Dead, but the actress that played Beth was on.
She's good.
I don't even know if we want to give anything away, but she was inconsolable. She cried for about 20 minutes straight and sprinkled in a few, it's not real, though. You have to realize it's not real. And then would go back to crying. It's like, no, you have to realize it's not real.
That's funny.
You should watch it if you can.
All I would have done is ask her how Beth's hair never grows.
Interesting.
Is that her name, Beth, the short-haired lady?
Yeah.
Yeah, how is her hair not grown in 2 years?
Oh, I don't know. Yeah,
and also, where are the bugs? It's in Atlanta, and it's 100 degrees every day, and there's just dead corpses and dead zombies everywhere. Shouldn't people be swatting bugs constantly?
It should be a lot worse than it is. It's funny the hair thing you brought up, because the only one whose hair grew was the father, Herschel. He had a ponytail by the end of it. Yeah.
Carl's hair grew. Carl
That's true. He had a hat on most of the time. All right.
I wrote in my column this last week about the smell. Mm-hmm. I think about it constantly, how bad it must smell there.
Sure, yeah.
Walking Dead land. Don't you feel like they should address that at least once an episode? Like, God, oof, reeks. Is that you? Oof.
They probably would. Like in real life, they would all have surgical masks on, and you wouldn't be able to hear what they were saying, right? Because it would just be it'd be a horrific scene.
It's got to be, or maybe your senses just shut off.
Yeah.
Maybe you can't even smell it anymore because your nasal passages just get annihilated.
Yeah, that's a good point. See, this is why we have to hit Comic-Con. These are the questions we need to ask next year.
It's a great show. I think this season was the best in a while. Oh, I have a new invitation for you.
Go ahead.
Who is the black guy with the beard who's on The Wire? What's
on
his
The Wire,
name?
yeah. I forget his name, yeah.
The guy who, you know that guy.
Yeah, I know who he's on with.
Every line, he talks like this. He's all about whispering his lines. And I think he wants to be a character on the B.S. Report.
Oh, wow.
Because he doesn't do anything other than whisper his lines.
I like that.
Invitation, that guy. Thank you.
That's Tyrese. Tyrese, right?
Tyrese, yeah. Tyrese. Tyrese doesn't understand why the Cowboys are playing on another Thursday night. It doesn't make sense. It does not make sense.
Tyrese is right. That is right.
Why are you playing on another Thursday?
I don't get it. It's just to screw up the chemistry. Yeah, here's why. Because Tony Romo doesn't practice on Wednesdays, so they have to hit him with back-to-back Thursdays and throw everything out. And I mean, think about like when you wrote your column this week, you had to get it in by Wednesday, right? Or
I just sent it in Tuesday night because I didn't want the copy. I wanted the copy just to be out there by lunchtime Wednesday.
Right.
And so I had to write and research everything in one day. So I knew the picks were going to be a disaster.
But it was a complete pain in the ass to get it done, right? Imagine practicing a short week and when you don't normally even practice Wednesday. So that's why every single ball that left his hand on Thanksgiving looked bad. Tony Romo. And
I wish we had discussed that before we threw them into our annual losing 3-team tease that we would have lost anyway because we both like San Francisco.
Right, and we did that, and we were so mad. We doubled up on San Francisco afterwards, even though we clearly both saw that they couldn't move the ball against Washington last week. And that's a disastrous offense.
I don't understand how they use Kaepernick. I would just be rolling him out every play.
Yeah.
Like, why are they trying to make him a pocket quarterback with mediocre receivers? That guy should have 12 carries a game.
I hate when they say this, but it's true. They have no identity, their offense. With all the tattoos and everything, no identity. And I read somewhere that they have 12 offensive coaches. Like Harbaugh likes to stack up, like not give too many responsibilities to any one coach.
Is that true?
12 offensive coaches. So that doesn't work. I don't know if you're an aspiring NFL coach. That's not the way to do it.
The Kaepernick, I'm looking up his game log right now. He has, where are the carries? Oh, there it is. Like he had 3 rushing attempts in that Seattle game.
Mm-hmm.
In general, he just hasn't run the ball well. I always felt like he was the perfect modern quarterback, like where we thought that position was going, where this guy who was just at any point could run for 50 yards. And that's just gone. And now they've turned him into like freaking Dan Marino.
He can call his own number on 3rd and 3 more than he does. Let's put it that way, yeah. Rather than
if I'm playing them in a big game, or I'm betting against him or whatever, I'm just worried about what he's going to do if he's freelancing the entire time. Mm-hmm. And they don't let him freelance from what I can see.
No
I think
more.
Harbaugh's checked out. I think he's ready for the LA Raiders. I think he's going to be moving into my neighborhood in about 3 weeks.
Well, that'll be good because they play each other, and we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Right, but let's do Thursday night. Your team again.
I don't have a great deal of confidence that we can win this. Is it December? It's December. Can't Jerry Jones push for 37 days in November? He's a powerful man. He can make that change, couldn't he?
It is kind of hilarious that you're stuck at 8 wins.
Yeah. This will be the worst yet, right?
Let's just go through it quickly.
We lose at Washington. Oh, God.
Chicago. Yeah. At Chicago Thursday night.
Right.
At Philly. Home for Indianapolis. And then at Washington, a team that's already beaten you.
Right.
Wow.
8-7. We should treat that like a Super Bowl if we're 8-7 at Washington with no playoff possibility.
No
what do you have for this one?
I have Cowboys by 3.
Yeah, you're going to get this. I went light on this. I said 1.5. It's 3.5. I actually like that they're 3.5. It makes me think there's a small chance. But
how about Jay Cutler being up 14-3? Or actually, I should say Mark Trestman, because I think pound for pound, he might be the worst coach in football right now.
Really? Wow.
14-3, and I think they ran the ball 8 times.
Yeah, that's right.
How do you not run the ball with a lead?
They had 13 yards rushing. 13 yards.
Forte is their best player. If I'm coaching that team, I'm like, I'm going down in flames with Forte.
Catches passes.
That's what I'm doing.
That's all they do. That's all they do. Yeah.
That team is a mess. Wisenhunt's been terrible. Jay Gruden's awful. Mm-hmm. The Raiders coach already got fired, but I think those are probably the worst 3, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
No, that's about it. I mean, let's see. I don't know. Riverboat Ron hasn't looked too good either lately.
That team just doesn't have talent, though. You know, they got murdered by the Cap. Hold on, I'm gonna.
They tied. Yeah. Go ahead. Who else?
I can't say Lovie Smith has really knocked my socks off in his second incarnation.
Right. Well, Mike Smith too. Don't forget about him. He had one good game, but let's not get crazy. Yeah,
that team. So they're 5-7, and they should have won the Lions game. Mm-hmm. That team should be 7-5. The coach has blown 2 games for them. All right, let's keep going.
All right, Sunday slate. There are 9 Sunday games early, and first one is is Pittsburgh at Cincinnati.
What do we make of the Steelers team?
Boy, I don't know.
The most bipolar team of the year, right?
I don't want to say anything because they're in a good spot now. They're on the road against the Bengals, who are at home. Terrible, no bet, never bet them at home. So I don't know what to say. And Roethlisberger's thumb is injured. He's handing off left-handed. They are Jekyll and Hyde, though.
I was reading Football Outsiders today, and Scott Kasmar, I'm sorry if I didn't say your name correctly. He was in that Audibles thing they do. He said in 17 games against Brady, Peyton, Breeze, and Rodgers, Dick LeBeau's defense has allowed 40 touchdowns to 6 interceptions.
I can't tell. Is that good or bad? 17 games?
That's horrible. 40 touchdowns and 6 interceptions in 17 games?
Oh, yeah, that is bad. Oh, yeah, 17 games. Oh, okay. I thought right. Yeah, that's not good. That's not good. A lot of true Steelers fans feel Dick LeBeau, the game has passed him by, and no one wants to talk about it. But a lot of the true Steelers fans I talk to are fed up with him.
You talk to true Steelers fans?
I figure I'd come out with it now. Yeah. Kessel's hurt. Yeah, they could be in a little bit of trouble, but when do you take Cincinnati at home?
I still don't like the Bengals, even though they just won 3 straight road games. Mm-hmm. Bengals by 4.
You're going to get this one, too. I went a little higher. I thought 5, and it was 4. It went down to 3.5, so you get it.
That's fair.
One of only 3 division games, and these teams play twice this month, so it should be interesting. Colts at the Browns. Johnny Football's Cleveland Browns.
Will you remind me right around Thanksgiving next year, like the weekend before, to start thinking about home dogs? Because it feels like this happens every year. The home dogs, I think, are 6-1 in the last 2 weeks. Yeah,
and like you said, a couple covered and didn't win yesterday. Tampa, who else? Jacksonville had a chance to cover and not win, but the Giants blew it outright. But yeah, there were a couple frisky home dogs that shouldn't have won.
I'm excited to talk about the Giants when we get to them. What's this next line?
Colts at Cleveland.
Ooh, Manziel, we think.
They say they're going to look at the tape. They haven't decided. They're going to look at the tape. Maybe the tape will show that Brian Hoyer didn't throw 3 terrible interceptions. So maybe, I don't know. Maybe Hoyer has a shot. But it should be Manziel.
I thought the Hoyer – I actually enjoyed the early games yesterday because Ravens-Chargers was good. But then the Hoyer-Orton face-off matchup was incredible. Orton tried to trump him. He threw the interception in the end zone. And then Hoyer said, no. Oh, no.
Yeah. It was a good battle.
Don't try to outflank me with interceptions. But I'm going to say Colts by 4.
Yeah, this is interesting because I had 3. It started at 3, and it went to 4, so you get it because we go by what the line is right now. Yeah, that's fair. When it was 3. Andrew the Giant Luck, what are your thoughts on this game going to Cleveland?
I think I've proven myself against mediocre teams and terrible teams. That's kind of my wheelhouse. What I do is I put up 40 points a game against any team that's not good. That's what I do. That's what I was brought here to do. I feel very confident about this game.
Thank you, Andrew. And please, for the love of God, shave whatever is appearing on your chin and cheeks.
The Joe Buck beard needs to be stopped.
Yeah, that's good.
I mean, it's cliche to make fun of, look at the crazy facial hair, but I actually think Joe Buck thinks that beard looks good.
Oh, I think so. I
think he's in the mirror looking at it going, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I love Joe Buck, but yeah, he's into that beard. Maybe it's a tribute to The Walking Dead, too.
I kind of enjoy Joe Buck. I think he does a good job with football.
There you go.
I think he's figured out how to ratchet up his excitement for exciting plays to an acceptable level after all these years.
Yeah. No, he's solid. Joe Buck is solid. Why not?
Aikman and Sims just don't say anything. I think they've mastered the art of not offending any fan from any team at all times.
Sims, you think? Really?
Sims is just, that's what, that's a great throw by Aaron Rodgers. That's what he does. Like, he doesn't say anything.
You don't watch Inside the NFL anymore. I think he hates everybody there.
Well, but that's different from Phil Sims. I'm just talking about CBS Sims.
Oh, I see. Okay. Yeah.
Like Collinsworth, I learned stuff. Collinsworth, the play happens. He's like, that left tackle is just getting killed. Watch the replay here. They run a stunt. And he just tells me what happened.
Definitely. Yeah.
Hey, I have an important question for you.
Go ahead.
Would you rather have Rex Ryan be in the play-by-play booth in like the Aikman Sims type role, or would you rather have him on a studio show? Because I have a very strong opinion on this.
I think we're play-by-play booth. Let's see. If it's the skinny Rex Ryan and it could actually fit into the booth, I'd say play-by-play booth.
I 100% agree.
Yeah.
I do not want him on a studio show.
No.
I don't think these studio shows are that important. I don't really care if I see them, but you spend 3 to 3.5 hours with the game guy every week, and usually it's the best game. And if we can get him, if I can spend 65 hours a year watching football with Rex Ryan, I'm in. I don't want him on a studio show sharing time with 5 other people.
Do you think maybe there's a compromise? Because you have to be. It's a different beast when you're in the booth. You know, you're obviously more scrutinized, highly scrutinized. But maybe there's a compromise. You put him at the opposite end of the end zone of Tony Siragusa to start off.
Oh God!
And see how that goes.
I would not do that. I would just have him just point blank. I'd put him in one of my top 2 crews.
Yeah,
and maybe you put him in with Aikman,
right?
Or Sims.
I want to see the Ryan brothers. Each Ryan takes a Harbaugh, and each Harbaugh takes a Ryan, and they stay on a team and they change teams every 2 years. That's what I want to see.
I'm worried, Brian. I'm worried Rex Ryan's going to do a studio, and I just, come on.
Are you saying? Have you heard that might be it?
No, I think for whatever reason, I think networks value the studio shows more when they hire these new people because they're afraid to mess up their broadcast teams.
Right. Yeah.
It's like all these people are afraid to upset the apple cart with their teams. Like, remember when they switched Greg Gumbel for Jim Nantz? Everyone's like, oh, my God. Oh. It's like, just go with the best 2 dudes.
But I think you could make a studio guy, if he's bad, you could make him passable. I mean, obviously, there's a lot more checks and balances when you have the studio guy. Right. Where do you work out an analyst like that? Like, it is taking a much bigger chance. Like, just give him preseason games.
I think there's a 100% chance that Rex will be good on TV.
Yeah.
I just think, like, it's not rocket science. If your interviews are lively and charismatic and you have opinions and you're unpredictable, you're going to be good on TV. Like Barkley, everyone knew Barkley was going to be good on TV. There was a 100% chance. And Rex,
I think so. But there's more trouble. The Bill Waltons, the Barkleys, I think that there's a high potential of trouble for the amount of times it works. But those guys are obviously the best. Tampa Bay at Detroit. Speaking of trouble.
Are we really supposed to believe the Lions are just back?
Well,
because they won a Thursday game against Jay Cutler, then now they're back.
I don't know. I mean, I think they're 8-4 and they have Tampa and Minnesota at home, so they really should be 10-4.
Maybe they're back. I have Lions by 10.5.
Oh man, you're killing me. I said 8. It was 8.5, and now it's 10.
That feels like yet another Bucks have a chance to win with 2 minutes left, blow it, but cover.
Yeah, maybe. They're so close to getting a good draft pick now, though. They have to maybe sit Mike Evans.
Oh, I can't wait till we talk about the Giants. Can we just do them now?
Let me see. Yeah, we could do them now. Giants at Tennessee.
I have the Giants by 1.5. I think the Giants are throwing games.
All right, I had the Giants by 1.5, so we tie. At least I get something there. And it's
I think the Giants are intentionally losing.
Really?
No, I really don't. But that was the fishiest loss of the season. Like, if you really do believe teams are throwing games, how do you blow a 21-0 lead to Jacksonville?
Well, here's what I was saying. I was a little gun-shy since our miserable losses on Thursday. So I was like, you know what, I'm just going to sit back and watch the first half and try to bang something out halftime of the first games. And Giants had a 21-3 lead. I think Jacksonville had one first down, and the second half line was a pick. And I said, oh, boy, something's wrong here. Here comes Blake Bortles.
So you think Vegas is in?
Yeah, Vegas is in on it.
Jacksonville scored 22 points in the second half.
Yeah. And it's things that they're not doing at all in the first half. Like Blake Bortles running the option and up the sideline. Like, I don't know what it is with that Giant team. That's bad news.
I'm looking up their numbers. They scored 22 points in the second half. All right. So the first 6 games of the season, they didn't score more than 17.
Right.
They scored 24 in Week 7 against the Browns. They scored 23 against the Bengals in Week 9. Other than that, they've topped 20 points twice all year, in Week 7 and Week 9. Right. And yet somehow miraculously scored 22 points against the Giants in the second half.
It's a fix. You're insulted again, aren't you? I'm insulted too.
I think Coughlin got a nice balloon payment. Hey, Tom, if you finish 3-13, we'll call it quits. Nice little balloon payment in an offshore account.
Well, I think you're right, but I also think, speaking of contracts, and now they feel bad. The guy's old. They don't want to fire him in the middle of the season, so it's a bad thing. But why not? Guys have incentive clauses in their contract. You make an extra $200,000 if your team makes the playoffs, and maybe an extra $500,000 if your team wins the Super Bowl. How about an incentive clause you lose to the Jags after a 3-touchdown lead, and we have the right to fire you? It's nothing personal, but it's there's incentives and there's incentives the other way, decentives, whatever they call them.
By the way, I don't think I'm kidding about the Giants throwing the game.
Okay.
But I just think they have an old coach. And when you have a coach who should probably retire soon, I think you give up 22 points to the Jags in the second half. And that's what actually happened. And
Jennings got hurt, let's say, so they weren't able to run as effectively. But that is not a loss you should have on your resume. No way.
They've lost 7 straight games.
Wow. And they're playing, boy, this is some matchup. I don't even know who to take.
Which one? For what?
To pick them. No, this Tennessee game. Forget it. Don't even think I take it.
I had the Giants by 1.5.
1.5, yeah. We both have 1.5. It's a pick. So stay very far away.
I read somewhere today, as I was doing all my research, that Wisenhunt is 3-21 in his last 24 games.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't even watch that one. You know what else is?
I really should thank my lucky stars every day for Brady.
Yeah, you should.
It should be something I think about for 30 seconds every day. I should just thank whoever the football god is for all these Brady years. Because, when you have a QB situation, imagine being a Titans fan right now. Mm-hmm. And you're rooting for Zach Mettenberger, and he comes out of the game, and you're actually like, oh, Zach Mettenberger just came out of the game.
Right.
Oh, no. What are we going to do now?
Yeah. Oh, and you and your friends are arguing over Mettenberger versus Locker, and you don't even believe what you're saying half the time. Yeah, it must be miserable. Or
if you're a Jets fan, it's Gino, these last 4 games, maybe he'll show something. When you know in your heart of hearts, he's not going to show anything, and he's going to be in the CFL in a year and a half.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Meanwhile, you wanted that Garofalo kid in 6 weeks ago, and don't say he didn't.
I think he's one of the 12 best QBs in the league.
Wow. He might be.
He's very handsome.
I watch his games.
By the way, I get a lot of emails about how old Blake Bortles looks. Have you really gotten a good look at him? He kind of looks like Pete Sampras right now.
Oh, really?
He looks like 50-year-old Pete Sampras.
I have to take a look at that.
Yeah, check him out. Check out Blake Bortles. He might be 35 years old.
Houston at Jacksonville.
Ooh.
I nailed this one exactly.
I have the Texans by 4.5.
Oh, come on. Can't you just give me one by myself here? It is 4.5. It's exactly Vegas zone 4.5.
J.J. Watt against bad QBs. Pretty safe bet this season.
J.J. Watt against 48-year-old looking QBs. Yeah, that's the way to do it.
God, I really hope I wanted Clowney to be good. I was really excited for Clowney to just be awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I hope he's just hurt. I hope he's not a bust.
I know. Well, you want someone else to be competitive in this stupid division, right? I think Indy clinches it with a win and a Texans loss here. As great as J.J. Watt is and all the fanfare he gets, they're going to be out.
What QB are you most excited to bet against in round one?
Well, we could say Andy Dalton.
I still feel Andy. I can't wait to bet against Andy Dalton.
Really?
I really hope they win the division. Yeah, I'm really excited for that.
I
don't even care if he beats
Brees.
me. I'm just... Oh, Drew Brees.
I don't think. I mean, not even that him, but the team. But it is a little him, though. It is. I mean, he doesn't throw the same. A lot of it should be the same as what we've seen. I don't know what the Jimmy Graham situation is, but I don't think Vegas will have adjusted the line fully for when the Saints are home, and I do think they'll win the NFC South in the 4 versus 5 matchup.
It is interesting when Brees throws deep. I'm now surprised when he completes it.
Yeah.
Whereas in the old days, it'd be like, "Oh my God, this is going to be a laser." Now I feel like when he connects, I'm surprised.
I don't get it. Yeah, he looks like a 35-year-old quarterback.
He's 35 and he had a major shoulder surgery like 7 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Baltimore and Miami. 7-5.
This is a great game.
Yeah, Miami should be 7-5 too.
I don't think there's ever been a better candidate for a loser leaves town match in the 2014 season than this one. This is an official loser leaves town match.
Absolutely.
Dolphins by 2.5.
All right. I had 3, and it is 3 as of this morning. So I sneaked that one out.
I think the Ravens are good. I still like them, even
though
they choked in that game yesterday.
Not good. I don't know if it's. I think they have a decent slate the rest of the way, right? The Ravens.
Yeah, so they got beaten up by Rivers and Roethlisberger.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if Ryan Tannehill is going to be throwing for 380 on him.
Maybe not.
I do like Tannehill, but he's not that type of QB.
I think he's like over 72% in the last month, but
Tannehill's like Would you say he's like a kind of like Alex Smith 2.0?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's probably there.
That's not going to torch the Ravens.
But, I mean, we hate taking Miami at home, always. And I don't really like taking Baltimore at home. I like when they sneak up on teams on the road. But this is for all the marbles.
What if the Dolphins bring out Ray Rice? They sign Ray Rice just for the week.
I knew you were going to bring that up. Can we just get to the football part of the Ray Rice thing? Like, why? Who's going to take a chance on
nobody?
A troubled, and one could argue that he's troubled. 28-year-old with miles, and
no, nobody's signing him.
Under 3 yards to carry when all the went down.
All you need to know is that Indianapolis isn't going to sign him, and they have the worst running back situation of any playoff team by far, and it's not close, and they're not even considering it. Really, it doesn't sound like
they're interested, but they don't want anything to do with them. That's all I'm hearing about any of these teams.
So, Sal, it turned out that an independent judge.
God, I don't want to be suspended again. Go ahead. Keep going.
No. I'm just saying. So that was one part. And then the other part is we shouldn't talk about this because it's clear that
I apologize to the listener who just went through 4 minutes of bleeps. But
I don't think they have to bleep any of this.
No.
I just think it's unfortunate that let's go to the next game.
Jets at Vikings.
Are the Vikings like half decent?
I don't mind
them. Like not awful?
Yeah, you know what? They're starting to get like a home field advantage in that temporary stadium. Not bad. And
let's look at since week 7, blew the Bills game in the last minute, beat the Bucks in OT, beat the Skins by 3, lost to the Bears by 8, lost to the Packers by 3, and
Good
beat
game.
the hell out of the Panthers.
Yeah.
That's a 7-week run of competence, including the bye week.
Yeah. I like Mike Zimmer. They're definitely not quitting on that coach when you see 2 block punts for a touchdown.
Yeah. Somehow they're 5-7.
Mm-hmm. It's interesting.
All right, I have Vikings by 5.5.
Oh, man. I said 6, and it is 5.5. It would start at 4.5. Now it's 5.5.
I think that line goes to 7.5 after people watch the Dolphins kill the Jets tonight.
Oh, really? Who would they put at quarterback? Be interesting.
I can't believe there's
in the
not.
mix?
How are there not enough quarterbacks?
There should be more. There should be more.
How is there not like there's a million running backs, right? Running backs get hurt. The third stringer comes in. He's awesome. C.J. Anderson, it's like, oh, yeah, he's going to be awesome. Great.
Right.
But it's like there's 20 quarterbacks.
It takes a long time for, to learn an NFL system, I think, for a quarterback. But if you watch Friday Night Lights, every game they played, it was a great quarterback. There should be more.
And then it's like I made the mistake of watching that terrible Florida State game.
Yeah.
Jameis was just throwing the ball all over the place. And then the other guy that is the true freshman, they're driving down the field for the game-winning drive, and the guy's just chucking it up for grabs every down. It's like, are they even running plays? It's like he's 7-step drop, throw it down the field aimlessly. Like, what is this?
And
what
Jameis should get Gillette needs to approach him any time now for the shaving endorsement, because that guy is taking points off the board. They do not cover.
It's amazing. Even that one point.
They refuse to cover. He's a master at it, though. He's really good. It's hard to win every game and not cover.
I think it's impossible in 2014 to shave points.
No,
it is amazing. It is amazing how they win but don't cover.
Right. No, he's not shaving. He can't even steal crabs and get away with it.
No, it was a funny joke. I liked it.
Yeah. All right. Carolina, another funny joke at New Orleans.
This is ridiculous, but Saints by 7.5.
Why ridiculous? I said 7, and why you think that it shouldn't be that high?
It's just stupid that the Saints would be favored by 7.5 over anyone in the league.
How about this? It opened at 9. It's now 10. You love it.
Oh, that's so dumb. And they'll probably cover. I'll probably take the Saints too.
Well, look at the slide Carolina's on. They tied Cincinnati, and then they rattled off like 6 losses in a row.
Yeah.
And they lost 28-10 to New Orleans. Remember that Thursday night game? They didn't show up at all. I don't know.
Their best game they've played in the last 6 weeks was they almost beat the Seahawks. Mm-hmm. And then since then they're either losing or getting killed.
The worst thing to happen, well, first of all, their defense is their Luke Kuechly-led defense is 25th in the league. That's not going to win you any games. And the worst thing to happen is that Cam Newton ad is starting to get juiced. That they don't believe in you. They don't believe. Like, uh-oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
They have one win since week 2.
Yeah. And yet, if they tie their last 4, they win the division. It's weird.
It's great. Great system.
St. Louis at Washington.
St. Louis at Washington. And we all like this Rams team. And
Yep.
we do not like this Skins team. I can't believe I'm doing this. Rams by 5.
Wow. And you're going to get it. You were off, but I said it was a pick. I had trouble with this, and I just said pick. I couldn't figure out. 5-7 Rams at 3-9 Redskins. Started at 2, it went to 3. So you get it. You're closer.
That line should go up.
What do you think of the fantasy guys who make the playoffs picking up the Rams defense that got like 32 points?
I think
it infuriates me when people do that.
Smart.
And yet if I did it, I'd be like, oh, I'm a genius. That's just how it goes.
Every week there's a defense that you wouldn't normally want that puts up huge points against some crap offense. Our
friend Tony and Kyle made the playoffs because they picked up the Rams defense, and not even every point counted. Like I think Carr had like 3rd and 3 from the 20, they would have gone for a field goal, and then he got sacked way back, and they had kick or go for something stupid. And the shutout, because of the shutout, in addition to everything else, they made the playoffs.
Well, if I get 12 points from Miami's defense tonight, I beat you.
Yes, that's right. That's right.
And if
Geno
I beat you,
Smith.
do I knock you out of the playoffs?
No. I'm the third seed.
So we're not even playing for anything.
I can't do anything, no. And you avoided having to pay for the banquet. You came in 9th out of 10, so good job by you.
Thank you.
But the Dolphins' defense could score 10 points tonight. Geno Smith or Vic, there's a pick six waiting for him for sure. 105, the 405 games, there are 4 of them. KC at Arizona, late afternoon.
Oh, interesting. Two of the Rabbit teams.
This isn't loser leaves town, but losers like starting to pack their stuff, I think, here.
I think the Chiefs season's over if they lose.
Yeah, definitely the Chiefs if they lose.
I got Cards by 3.
All right, I think you went a little high. Yeah, I said 2, and it's 1.5. So I get that one.
Oh, wow. Drew Stanton. No respect.
No.
No respect for Drew Stanton.
If they lose this, Arizona, at St. Louis, Seattle, and at San Francisco.
Do I go to the Super Bowl if the Pats make it?
Yeah, that's good. This has got to be all right. I mean, somehow the Cowboys could creep in. That would be so much fun. There's no way it'll happen. But, yeah, we're going this year. It's right around the block. It's in Arizona.
I know, but the last time I was there, it was 42. Super Bowl
You've
42.
seen some good ones, though. You've seen them.
That was the worst loss I've ever experienced in person.
The second Giants one?
No, the first Giants Super Bowl.
Oh, the first Giants one. Yeah.
That's the worst loss I've ever experienced in person.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I don't know if I want to go back. We got to really do some.
Well, if they don't play the
searching.
Giants, you have a good chance, I think.
They're definitely not playing the Giants.
Buffalo at Denver.
Denver by 11.
Nice. You were, I said 11 also, and it's 10. So we tied. It started at 9. Denver's win this game.
Bills can get a little frisky in this game, though. I wouldn't sleep on this game.
Let them get frisky, but here's what we're doing. We're doing Broncos, we're doing Alabama, we're doing Oregon, moneyline parlay. And, we have to lay like $1.60 to win $1. But it's just going to win.
Great.
It's a win. We're doing it. Next game, San Francisco at Oakland.
God. Now, here's another team that shouldn't be favored by a touchdown or more, and yet they're going to be favored by a touchdown or more. I had the Niners by 8.
Good call. I said 9.5. I don't know what I was thinking, and it's 7.5. So you get it. But yes, we'll warn everyone not to put this in a 2-team teaser.
Who's San Francisco's backup?
If the Raiders cover the spread, do they get Jim Harbaugh? Should they just take him off the sidelines?
I'm surprised so many people are writing about the Jim Harbaugh thing and not mentioning the LA part of it.
Yeah, right. That's true.
Because I think that would be a part of it.
I think it's Blaine Gabbert, by the way.
I had a thing in my column about Blaine Gabbert. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
I guess Kaepernick's job safe. I had a thing in my column last week about what a London team should be named.
Mm-hmm.
Got a few emails about this. People want it to be called the London Werewolves.
Oh. Well, that's
great.
pretty cool.
I love it. I like the helmets. I like the uniforms would be cool. Werewolves are kind of in these days. It's a huge win. I love the London Werewolves.
Yeah.
Or you can even call them the Werewolves of London.
Yeah. That's what they'd call them. I like that.
It's great. It's a great
idea. I like the
idea.
Adam Ants, too. The London Adam Ants. It seems weird, but a few years in, you won't even think about it.
What else do we have?
We have Seattle
Sunday night
at
action.
What's that?
Oh.
Seattle at
yeah,
Philly.
one more. That's a great one.
Game
Eagles
of the week.
by 1. Eagles by 1.
Yeah. Wow, look how forceful you are. You killed me this week. I said 2.5. It is Eagles by 1, exactly.
I think the Seahawks are favored by the time the first kickoff.
You do?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, am I crazy as a Cowboys fan? I think I'm rooting for the Eagles. Like, we're not going to win in Philly next week or the week after. We break a tie with Seattle, I think I'm rooting from a wild card perspective. I think I'm rooting for the Eagles in week 13, 14. It's crazy.
I'll tell you one thing. Richard Sherman, he has some opinions on things.
No, again?
Yeah, no, he just has opinions.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe
People
all
love
of them.
People love talking about how smart and eloquent Richard Sherman is, and it always feels vaguely racist.
I know.
It's like, all right, well, why do we have to repeatedly and forcefully say all the time how eloquent and smart Richard Sherman is?
I know. I don't like it either.
Yeah.
New England at
Sunday night?
San Diego. New England at San Diego. Sunday night game.
Pats by 3.
It was 3, and I said 3, and then it moved to 4. I think even Vegas has to see that this is too easy of a Belichick off a loss, laying just 3 points. Can't do it, right?
That's too high. I think that's a lack of respect for the Chargers. Yeah.
Wow. Tough road to 10 wins for the Chargers. New England, Denver, at San Francisco, at KC. That's tough. Squeak by some easy games.
I think 3.5. I would have thought was not respectful, or it was semi unrespectful. But 4 is just a slap in the face.
Well, they just like insulting you. I don't know why. Now they're insulting you the other way. They're making them too.
No, now I'm doing the slapping.
Oh,
yeah,
right.
my face isn't even being slapped. I think it's now we're slapping.
See, it feels good, doesn't it? Atlantic Green Bay.
I'm gonna keep saying San Diego's not winning another game until they pass the over/under, and then I'm gonna stop that.
That might be it.
Packers.
Monday night, Atlantic Green Bay. We're adding Green Bay to that parlay I mentioned with the Oregon, Bama, Broncos.
They might score 70 in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Like Stanton had open guys that game. He just can't throw them. But Packers by 11.
Yeah, I don't think there's the hangover factor with the Patriots game, but I don't think that happens. I said 9.5. I should have gone higher. You said 11. Open to 10.5. It's 12 now. So you get it. Wow, thorough crushing by you this week over me.
I destroyed you.
8-5-1 after 14 weeks. That's going to be tough to come back from.
Tom Coughlin coached you this week. What do you have to plug?
All right, Jimmy Kimmel. Jimmy does a comedy bit with the Killers tonight. Don Rickles is on. NASCAR's Kevin Harvick. Later in the week, Ethan Hawke, Sofia Vergara, and John Cougar Mellencamp. And my Grantland blog, I went 2 out of 3 on the Thanksgiving picks. And Sports Center, I don't even know what to say anymore. I've hit 5 in a row. I'm 9-3 with my best bets against the spread. I'm insulted that people aren't making a bigger deal out of it. Check it out late Thursday on Sports Center or early Friday. That's that.
Good job by you, Cousin Sal.
Good job by you, Bill.
Talk to you next week.
All right, buddy.
Target % off. Whoa.
Thank you for downloading the BS Report with Bill Simmons.
Too much fun.
Check out more podcasts at the iTunes Music Store or at Podcenter at ESPNradio.com.
Peace out.
Gotta say, Golic, great call on grabbing Subway for lunch and getting guacamole on our subs.
Told you this new guac really amps up the flavor.
Yep, something adding up. Things can be great. Guacamole on your sub, a new co-host to replace you.
What was that?
Oh, no, nothing.
Subway now has deliciously rich new guacamole made from ripe Hass avocados with just a hint of garlic, onion, and jalapeno. Discover how new guacamole turns up the flavor on any of your freshly made favorites. Subway, eat fresh.